versus HBox, and that is going to be the matchup we're seeing here of Lima instead up against Cannon Red.
Yeah, Cannon Red sent HBox into losers earlier and sent him into a Demon losers bracket where HBox was able to make it out of pools and then immediately 3-0'd by Trey 5, the local Steve, because DFW goes deep, man. But Cannon Red got to avoid all of that, but not avoiding having to play against a good player, obviously. In winner's bracket, the threats are surmountable, and Lima is, of course, one of them. Not surmountable, amountable. There are quite a few of them, if you want to take it that way. But yeah, Cannon Red, I mean, this is a matchup that before we started seeing the crazy stuff that Bayonetta could do, we thought, actually, pretty good against Bayonetta.
You know, the thing with that buff to the forward throw is a big part of that, because as that forward air will actually not be enough to take that out just yet. But being able to continuously position Bayonetta off stage with that forward throw and try to bait the ABK because of how much pressure, how much damage Jigglypuff can get off a down air if you make a mistake, put some fear in them. That's what they used to do, though, because now Bloom, Lima, and all of them are remembering, oh, wait, this character is kind of nice.
Yeah, this character is rather nice. I mean, you look at the maneuverability, you see what we just saw right there, right? You have a couple of solid kill moves that aren't huge commitment, like that forward smash that you think about, right? Now, that back air is super solid, and it hits in just the right place in this matchup where both out of a short hop and at a full hop, they're both at heights that Puff is often also going to occupy, and that she has to even at kill percents. And hold up, Lima's taking him up to the skies, and I love Cannon Red escaping there.
I was getting close to it. Speaking of, you know, that short hop gameplay, one of the things that Bayonetta has so well in this matchup is Witch Twist. And the fact that Lima has figured out many new routes to get early KOs again off the top, that is a bad time for Cannon Red. Speaking of that as well, Cannon Red sitting at 83% on this next stock, played well in the first stock kimono, but has not really found an answer since.
No, I mean, it's just hard to find a solid kill move against Bayonetta when you don't have a way to sort of lock down her movement. And that really comes down to you as a player, because there aren't many characters that can do that in and of themselves, right? Cannon Red, playing a character like Puff, you can keep up with her, but you got to seal out those stocks, and finally does with that forward air.
See if Cannon Red can start to find a few down airs. That's how you get the party started, like so. And you can do it! Yes! Oh, no! That was the perfect situation, but Witch Twist, Bats Within cheats the system, and that would have been a great opportunity, but instead you get a free fall right to the bottom of the blast zone.
I can do so many things that you cannot playing Bayonetta, and Lima proving it once again. I mean, it used to be, right, that we thought, okay, well, one of the reasons Puff is so good against Bayo, in theory, is that she just kind of falls out of a lot of the combos, and you can even rest in the middle of Witch Twist and stuff like that, right? But now the tables...
Thank you so much for just proving the point right on cue to a kimono.
What I was going to say is that obviously is still a thing and never went away at all. Cannon Red proving that right. Yeah, no, if your DI is really good out of those combos and you keep up with where the Bayo is going, you can manage with stuff like that. So Lima does have to be careful with those vertical combos.
Yes, and also remember, we got to bring it up, there's the contractual obligation of every Bayonetta to SD at least once in a set, and that is very capable of happening with how much offstage pressure Jigglypuff has. And Cannon Red can maybe make that happen. So far, Cannon Red, though, hasn't been able to find that elusive ledge trap, and instead is going to take a backer off the top, and Lima's going to take game number 1.
I thought I heard rest connect there.
I did kind of sound like it.
I heard like the crash of the kill screen. I thought it was rest connecting, and I was like, no, he did not lose off of that. There's no way.
Man, we deserved that rest KO. Just so everybody's clear, we deserved that, but Bayonetta said no. Lima denied us fun, and I hope Lima hears this and is smiling about that, because you denied us a good time. That's all we got to say. But
the fact that Cannon died for that too is so funny, because I think that if he had properly connected it, maybe he wakes up in time to make that recovery, because Puff sleeps less when she does actually connect the rest.
Might have, maybe. I mean, Cannon died for the clip, did it for the gram, but instead was sent to the bottom of the blast zone.
Ooh. So, I heard Sora.
Oh.
And that's what we're getting. I didn't know that Cannon had a Sora.
Not too surprising in terms of playstyle similarities with the floatiness. Sora is interesting, though, because we all kind of wondered, is this character, like, really good or not? And we're seeing it more and more with some of these players, like Kameme with that incredible run we saw recently. His out-of-shield game and his shield pressure is phenomenal. But for the Bayo, Witch Twist, and Bats Within, kind of don't care that much, so you got to condition it.
I mean, the aerial combos are so effective against a character that loves to stay in the air, right? Yep. Especially floaty characters that can have trouble landing. Sometimes Bayo doesn't get the crazy strings, but the continued advantage is what really works. I mean, you were mentioning Sora's with really great runs. There's a great tech, by the way. Sora's with really great runs recently. Just last week, Deathspade had a great one at Gateway Legends, and Lima beat Deathspade and his Sora at that tournament.
a good point. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Well, you will never forget the intro that Deathspade got, though. But
My man.
Intrusive thoughts came through, and it's all we got to know. But currently,
he came off the stage, by the way, and they said, "You get one, by the way. That was your one." Oh my God! Speaking of one, I thought you were taking one express trip to the blast zone, and oh my goodness, you are!
It was an extended trip. It was just a little bit longer than expected, but right now Lima has a perfect position. All right, look, here's the thing. You are never allowed to SD a Sora. If you do, that's a completely on you thing. That back air smack away was one of the goofiest looking KOs I have ever seen.
It doesn't look like he hits with force.
No. It's like a giant wet noodle, just plop.
And then there was like, it's like the stuff made here, like baseball bat that he made that had the explosives in it. That he was like, yeah, now I can hit just like Barry Bonds.
Oh my God. Also, just a reminder to everybody, we are in best of 5 territory all throughout top 32. So even if this Sora doesn't happen to work out, you could try to Jigglypuff again. I do think the Sora's been playing solidly, but Lima has such a good understanding of this matchup. You mentioned it before, just standing still.
You think he does have a good understanding of the matchup?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. That's how it wasn't all like smirks and laughs. I was like, are you done? You done? You done with the Sora?
All right?
Are you done with the Sora? Because I would like you to be done with the Sora.
It's one of those moments where you see him just short hopping, like you think, oh, that's just out of range. Surely he's not going to let me get this forward smash. But you let it rip, it connects anyways, and you're like, oh. I guess he did let me get that.
Yeah, and I'm up a stock, too. I do not care if I miss this first one. I'm going to do it again. All right, we're going to see that Jigglypuff rapidly show back up on the screen.
Yeah, I think that's the right move. I thought that Cannon Red was actually doing
I agree.
Not too bad in that matchup. And again, I can't stress it enough. You do put a bug in the back of the Bayonetta player's brain that says, if my combo is not perfect, I do just have to bail out of it, because if I overextend, you reach, I teach, I go to the top blast zone dead.
Yeah, and this singular mistake that happened to Cannon Red in that last game was the fact that the rest, it wasn't even a mistake. It was the game saying no,
yeah.
because the bat's within. So there's still plenty of chances to make some adjustments to see what Cannon Red can do here, but Lima has been playing so well so far, and Lima with the lead will slow the games down as each game goes to frustrate you and get way better out of shield games.
I mean, he will play, no matter what position he's in, he does seem like he has an answer for it, right? That, okay, you want to play slow, that's fine. I get to take a little bit of stage, one step at a time. The moment that you try to jump out of that corner, that you try to get that center stage back, that's where I'm going to cover you. And like you're mentioning, playing with the lead, he can just wait for you to just kind of, make a couple mistakes and now you're dead.
It's just playing out exactly how we were seeing in the previous match too. That throw's gonna set up perfect ledge shot. I actually like the shots. Like, there's nothing you can really get out of that, but that forces Cannon Red to have to go to ledge rather than being able to freely jump away.
Well, the big thing is that you're never gonna get a combo extended there anyways, right? So you might as well take your free damage, and even if you maybe in theory could get an ABK, extending out that far is a bad idea, and that also goes for Cannon Red trying to get that ledge trap. Don't go that far out there.
I like that awareness of Lima too, because you just forward smash looking for ABK, so you figure, excuse me, out smash, you know they're going to probably try to swing on you again. It's like, okay, I am going to aggressively rise. You probably are not ready for this.
Good DI by Cannon Red to get out of that combo. Mashing rest, expected Lima to overextend. What are we doing exactly?
Lima.
Oh, the setups.
Lima trying to get one of the early KOs off the top, trying to reposition, not just go for forward smash or anything, or up smash in that position.
You know, the thing that would take the stock.
Yeah. I think forward smash, maybe just because of how close he was, you could probably walk Jigglypuff over and quickly did it, but...
I mean, up smash would just...
Actually, up smash would have just did it.
Up smash would have just done it anyways. Yeah. Like, that is one of those Lima being Lima moments where you're like, he, to a certain extent, like, winning is his #1 priority, but once he feels like that's not in any danger, his new #1 priority is to make you feel bad.
I'm so glad that the fact that you're putting validity to that, because we, as all outside spectators not seeing regularly in Texas, we feel like that's the thing. Lima's like, yeah, no, definitely. I want you to feel bad.
Lima wants to know, and he wants everybody to know that at any time he could be the best player in the world, and he wants to make that apparent. And if it comes at the cost of some of your dignity, he'll do it.
Oh, wait a minute.
Betty bye.
Falling up air. Good. Oh, wait, no, just to the down air. But it won't be enough.
Downs.
hey, you know what? Sometimes people pay for that. You got that for free, so that's the other thing. But anyways, right now, 102% to 0. This is a very doable position for Cannon Red to go ahead and just sneak out the stock. There's that combo that you were talking about before, but or excuse me, the rest to try and stop the combo, but it's just not working now. I think Lima's kind of just figured that out.
I think that after you connect the first one, you just play with the fear of that, right? I think in general, unless you know for a fact that they're going to overextend, it's so hard to call that out against Bayonetta, and particularly somebody like Lima, who is very pragmatic when it comes to the way that he is extending his combos.
Yeah, usually. Lima's air domination has been so good so far throughout the set, too. It's usually Jigglypuff you see playing around that short hop, 45-degree angle like you were talking about earlier. That's really elusive to hit. But Lima's ABKs, Witch Twist, everything have just been so on point to the point where Cannon Red has forced the play so grounded that most of the damage has been grabbed.
And there's just not much you can do as Pop off of the grounded stuff. You know, you do have that, jab forwarder sometimes, right? But you need more than 6% on the Bayonetta to do anything off of that. And, I mean, right now, the game's never really over with Puff because, 1 or 2 extensions and all of a sudden we could be looking at a game 4. But, Lima's just not taking any risks right now, and he doesn't need to. Because otherwise, you might find yourself in a spot like this.
Oh, if you air dodge down, you were asking to lose. But Cannon Red going out there. Wait a minute. Oh, if the back air was on point, that might have did it. Cannon Red getting the tech, though. This game is not over just yet.
I mean, at 47% down air into rest, that would do it. Bayonetta's not a heavy character, and that stuff does scale with rage, but we're not going to get a chance to see it happen. Lima with that double ABK, crossing up with that back air afterwards. He was actually telling me about these different hits.
And I can play patient. I don't need to rush in. I don't need to try and challenge Minecart. I'm just going to wait for you to make a mistake first. And I also get just as much a reward on hit, even though I have to work a little harder, that you do if you make a mistake once I get one of these down tilts. So Yonny's going to have to be very, very careful about how often he decides to go for camps. And I just noticed that tag. That's pretty funny.
Yeah, no, he put that on earlier, and I was like, yeah, he's very happy to be somewhere where he can just play his funny guy. And play the funny guy he will. I mean, Jonny, I don't know how much he has been keeping up with the character. Looked pretty solid earlier in pools, right? But, I mean, I don't ever expect the combo game to go away because he was widely known as pretty much the combo feast.
Yeah, I mean, the Yonni clips on Twitter are something we have seen many a times over from the stream, and he just continued to maximize a lot of routes that people still use to this day for most of his bread and butters.
Definitely a pioneer of the Steve gameplay for sure. Building up a couple of blocks right here, forcing MuteAce to get through those. And, you were talking about some of those ways that MuteAce is so good at this matchup. For my money, I think that the biggest thing that makes him successful in the Steve matchup is that he knows ways to get Steve's to either stop mining or at least to be more honest with him without having to commit to anything big, right? Throwing out low committal moves or being in just enough of a range, like you said, holding a turnip sometimes as well, where you do have to understand that if you start mining, you have just enough end lag that Mute's going to be able to react and punish you.
Somehow Mute entices interactivity out of him. Like actually forces them to want to press a button at that range that we've seen many times other people say, well, why don't you just go over the blocks? No, Steve can react to that. But because of Peach float and to be able to cancel back the float, it makes you afraid. But if you also let Mute just constantly pull turnips, eventually something really good is going to show up too. So you can't stay away from Peach the entire time.
And I love that Jonny is just being completely dishonest. He says, look, you can pull turnips if you want, but look at me getting all these resources. I'm standing here. I am inside the house. I am just waiting for you to knock on my door and show up and cook me a home-cooked meal.
Well, absolutely did. And was a little bit upset about it. It took a whole frying pan to the face. And okay, Yanni's very lucky that could have been a whole lot more if that dare landed the proper way. That probably would have been a solid like 60-ish%. But Mute is so good, like we said before, of just getting quick damage and not overextending. So many people try to overextend against Steve, and then next thing you take an anvil to the face or a minecart, and you have now taken 80% for it.
The thing is, I mean, you're talking about Mute being one of the candidates for best player in the world on, certain given days, right? But I think for my money, no matter what day it is, he is the smartest player in the entire game. I don't think that there's anybody who you can ask a question and be certain that you're going to get a well-thought-out answer from him. And even if he doesn't have one ready for you, he can think it through and give you one, right? He knows Steve's win conditions. He knows where Steve is going to have the frames to hit him back. And like you were saying, he knows when to stop overextending because he knows he can be in trouble in return.
Yeah, and in very similar fashion too, again with respect on Yanni's name, we talked earlier about the pioneer of like a lot of the combo routes. Because of how many others have continued to maximize his character, Yanni's neutral game in general is just getting better. Like there used to be a time where Yonni would kind of rush in a little too much after getting the resources, not realizing you don't need to. Like, you can just hang back. But currently, he needs to get some resources because he is the bank account was looking kind of empty right there. There was absolutely nothing there, but he does get back in, gets a new diamond crushed up.
Recall when I was saying that Mute really does force the Steve players to play honest. Yonni, I think like 3 times in a row, set him a block in the corner and then went for the grab to go for the back throw into you tech, I forward smash, you miss the tech, you go to the blast zone, and Mute just said, I'm not giving you that a single time.
Yeah, no, the checkmate scenario that everybody keeps falling for. You just don't do it. That's their turn. Don't do it unless you like to die at 0. That's on you. But Mute not letting that happen, and also Mute playing. Well, Mute now dead. Mute was playing well around any kill options that he had, but finally got caught. That's the second anvil that's gotten a KO.
And you know what? The thing is, nobody's perfect. Even if you know exactly what to do in any given scenario, sometimes your hands just aren't going to move fast enough. And right now, Yonni, his hands are moving quite quickly enough to build up this damage. 76, Mute taking a real buzz of the blast zone.
Yeah, it was really close. I hate that ledge trap setup is so good, and Mute saw through it, understanding that you got to jump around that. Even if you, then again, they can also read that and go for back here. So Yonni committed to the minecart all the way in. This is a massive deficit right now, Locomoto. You were looking at 38% to 130. Any straight hit gives Yonni game number 1.
Those are diamond tools, and not much we can do to stop him from mining right now because that threat is so huge, right? But again, it's not just about hitting him one time.
If that wasn't DJDON, that might have been it, actually, because DJDON had extra knockback and pushed him too far away from the followed-up forward air.
I thought the hit lag might help, and Mute trying to get a little too tricky on that block. He does ha-cha right his way into a Yonni punish. That back air sending him into the blast zone, and this is a rather good return to form for Yonni right now, taking that game 1 against Mute and doing things that, man, just a lot of the Steve players right now I feel like are not doing. There are so many crazy block setups.
I did see him do the early, like, without material block bounces that that they tend to do sometimes. He was wave bouncing a little bit. Yeah. And that's a good way to kind of bait out floats from Peach. And if you could get them to commit to float first, well, they can't do a defensive option out of that. That's going to be a free anvil or free falling forward air. And Mute caught onto it early and stopped going anywhere near that. But even without that, Johnny's disadvantage was barely punished.
Yeah, and it's hard, obviously.
It's very difficult.
He's got quite a good disadvantage. I mean, it's not really lack for anything.
No.
To be honest. But, you know, I think that if there's one thing that will help Mute, I think that there are a lot of moments where, again, he knows what he has to respect. He knows what he is allowed to push forward on. And when he's at 130 and Yonni constantly has diamond tools available, they're not going to be able to pile on that pressure. And I think that part of his game plan does need to be stopping Yonni from getting all that mining done, even if that does mean taking a couple hits to make that happen.
Yeah, Yonni at least has a vote of confidence going right now, too, because up 1 game, it is a best of 5, but starting off the set with the W against MuteAce, that is a huge confidence boost. And but Mute this time, though, Mute is recognizing exactly the routes Yonni wants to go. Doesn't get the kill just yet, but we are very close to seeing that disappear.
What was I saying about getting aggressive, AJ? I mean, Mute is taking that to the bank, does not want him to build up those resources. And normally Yanni's so good at finding just these small moments to, you know, toss in 1 or 2, and then he's all right? And then he can at least work with something. But Mute is really not giving him those opportunities. And if he burns a minecart to get back right here, then he doesn't have iron to use it on stage. Yeah,
overwhelming presence is just the name of the game for MuteAce right now, making sure Yonni does not feel comfortable with the ledge. That back there still won't be enough yet, but it has been majority of MuteAce's game. The Nair on that time still not yet enough yet either. That one surprised me that didn't KO.
Deep is a little heavier than I thought. Yonni can't put on any pressure right now. Building up those blocks because he had no shield left. You're going to make it back after that forward air. Not super strong off of the wooden pickaxe. And flying right back in with that crown slap. Mute does take the lead.
There are multiple wins that came out of that. Not only did Mute minimize, triple back here, straight up to 46. Mute minimized the resources and no diamond, no gold, nothing going to this next stock. And this is, I don't know where Mute was in game 1, but this is exactly the MuteAce we've been seeing against Steve over the last, like, half a year.
I mean, again, the adaptation and the thinking power that he poses as a threat, right, is just impossible to simply overcome through your crazy setups, right? You have to respect the fact that he is going to figure out a way around you. And man, MuteAce having his cake and eating it too. I know that there is no way to acquire milk or sugarcane or anything in this game, and yet Yonni is having plenty of cake for breakfast.
Well, this is, I mean, is that really a problem? Nope. But right now, you go throw it at the time.
For all of you at home, yeah, that eating meat does nothing. That does not, that's a taunt.
It is. He was just hungry in the moment, but no up smash coming through. Looking for a potential 0 to death, but the rage messing with it a little bit, and the positioning doesn't matter though. 3 stocks up. Winky Face is there, sending a little bit further out, and I think for Yonni, I agree with that, to be honest. Like, you're already down 2 stocks. You're already in a position where you're not probably making that comeback.
Didn't have resources either, right? Like, if you had diamond tools, I'd say, I don't know about throwing it away. But Yanni's like, oh, yeah.
I had a crowd just like it over. It's like, yo, wait, it's like, bro, no, I got you. I got this next game.
No. Don't worry.
You don't understand. Like, we were just going. Now we're in the age old. Now we're in a true best of 3. But the most important part about this, of course, which I don't actually think is going to come into play because they're just playing on PS2. But whoever goes up at this point now has counter pick advantage for the remainder of the set. But so far we have gone back-to-back PS2s. It does not seem like that's going to be a factor.
I don't think that Mute minds the PS2 either because you don't get a bevy of resources on this stage. Stone is kind of a weird middle ground where it's, if you're playing on one of the battlefields, you get the neutral resource set, so you do get a good mix of the dirt, the wood, the stone, the iron, everything you need to build up just a really holistic game plan, right? But here, you're focused on building up walls that are going to last. Once you get that stone, once you get that iron, you want to keep somebody out, but Yonni was not able to do that in that game number 2. And again, that shows the importance of Mute putting that pressure on him.
100%. If anybody ever actually has questions or wondering what the differences are on the materials for each stage, Pomona is quite literally the expert on that subject. So make sure you hit them up at some point if you ever want to learn a little bit more about that, because it does play a factor in the set count. Like, you need to consider these things. Like, whenever I see cowls left open intentionally, I'm like, what are you doing? Like,
you do get iron on the rims there, and then, yeah, like stone everywhere else. And Steve having access to iron mining spots anywhere is crazy. I think it's weird that those side platforms on PS2 are actually still stone. It's not iron.
Yeah, that still trips me up a bit. And speaking of being able to kind of stall things out and get access to what he needs, this anvil mining is crazy, but also eventually something's going to be blessed for Peach. Unfortunately, the Stitch Face does just get tossed away. Well, we go back to back because RNGesus is blessing.
He got a combo. He got a combo off of that, and then he just tosses it away because why let it play a factor into the next
I'm not leaving that on the field where a fresh stock Steve is on there, where Alex in this case is on their way. Mr. Saturn is going to go ahead and take the exit.
He did his job. He did his job. Mute said thank you for the assist.
Go home to your friends. Throws him right into the potato.
We're out.
I didn't ask for this.
Sorry, you meant.
Currently, Yonni looking very similar to the previous game. Difference is this time, Yanni's been able to get a lot more straight hits in. He's got to find a back air or something pretty soon, though. Still very similar situation last time, though. Not able to get resources often. Even though the diamond was there, now you have a time to get it. But Mute has been so good at shutting down any of the mining.
I mean, that has been kind of the defining factor in each of these games, because Yonni with diamond has just been almost impossible for Mute to deal with. He's already at 100%. Where did it even come from?
Welcome to the matchup. But one mistake, one whip in front of the diamond up tilt, and you're going straight to 80. And I hate that. Blood Trap should have been pretty free for Yonni, but MuteAce, recognizing he was out of position early, and buffered that dodge back on, or the roll back on.
All about that speed, baby. MuteAce is able to play at that high rate, make those decisions very, very quickly because, again, so familiar with what he needs to do in this matchup. Trying to get that pressure on with that roll in, but now another roll in going to get punished big time. Again, do not roll in DFW. Yeah,
kudos to Yonni, by the way, on how much better he's playing in this third game, because second game, Mute just went off. And you kind of alluding it to a second ago, MuteAce's refresh rate as a player is through the roof on being able to recognize when situations are bad, instantly adjusting. But the fact that Yonni has had a game like last game, and now we're at last stock situation here with a slight lead, very solid adaptation from Yonni so far.
By the way, I love that Mute destroyed that crafting table on the ground right there. Normally it doesn't take up too much, but Yonni coming off that Angel platform, only having the 3 iron as his resources, meant that he had to burn an iron to get that crafting table up and craft his diamond, because it will either cost 2 wood, I think 4 stone, or 1 iron.
Anytime you can get them to waste their time doing that, and whether that's less time they have as an invincible character to go hit you with diamond, and just also maybe make them make a mistake. That said, Jonny is making very minimal to no mistakes right now. He's up 5% to 117. Any straight hit at ledge should pretty much take it out from one of these aerials.
Stone only though right now. Mute is staying close enough where Jonny can't just get a bevy of iron. Does have a little bit now, and watch that gold as well. That gold powered rail minecart can be huge for him, but it's not over yet.
Okay, back throw turnip into bear could lead to Mute stealing this game is what I would have said. No, we were still in it. So it gets to stay alive a little bit longer, but pretty much turnip toss into a combo is the only way that this game would have been won. But Jonny has gone up with the evilest smirk. Yeah, Jonny, we see you. We see you smile. I'm nice with it. I'm nice with it. He's up 2-1 in the set.
They said he was the #1 seed. I haven't played in 2 months. That's probably what he's saying.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah, also, something that I thought was only a thing that Ling was doing for a while, and I was like, wait, does this actually work? The fact that D3 Will went and put MuteAce in the losers, it's just going to show. I know this has nothing to do with this match, but Diddy actually does very well against Peach. I cannot believe that still to this day. We might see, the reason why I brought this up is because there is another chance that MuteAce, after being the #1 seed, might be taking a very early trip to the loser side of bracket.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, at least making it out of pools before that happens this time compared to last weekend. But, you know, definitely don't count him out, because last time he got beaten a close game by Yonni, he easily 3-stocked him in the following game.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, game #2 looked like a
body bag. It was a body bag.
Yeah, it was an extreme wash, but Yonni is not letting that get to him whatsoever. And I'm very impressed in general by that, because we've talked about it a couple times now. But Yonni had a good, he had a pretty decent break, and is now back up here performing extremely well against the #1 seed in the tournament.
I mean, he's playing like he never left. I mean, this is exactly the Yonni that I'm used to, but honestly, like, even more confident in himself. Like, sometimes there are some moments where I'm like, okay, it looks like he just doesn't believe, right? But he believes right now.
Well, it's definitely working out. I mean, MuteAce almost reversing that situation. If you could get maybe a jump, but did not get the jump he was looking for right there. Just got up, neutral get up, keeping it simple. And Yonni, smartly, look, you just put that up.
My house. Ba, 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 ba.
We don't have to go out. Well, you do. Get on out of here.
Through the blast. Hey, that's a
go on, get. Oh, Mr. Saturn is back. Immediately tossing it away. Once again, you do not want Alex to have access to that. You're asking for trouble. That's going to be pretty much a guaranteed KO.
If you're wondering why Mute is not attacking these walls as aggressively as he has been in the past, it's because Yonni had access to those gold tools. So he can literally react to you hitting those walls and forward smash you for it, because you have extra speed with those moves.
And again, on shield too, it is like -1. So there's not much you can do to punish him in those situations. Back air, good DI from Mute to go straight to that corner, but one more mistake is pretty much it. Jump away, and Jonny misses a free punish on the air dodge.
I mean, that looked like it could have easily been the stock, but Mute is just so tricky with that aerial movement there. You saw that PBR, right? Jonny just turning around in the middle of the air and does take that stock. Diamond tools refreshed as well, with plenty of resources to work with. Not a lot of blocks to build himself up and start mining some more, but honestly, right at this moment, he doesn't really need to.
Yonni was looking to kill at 50% with that forward smash. That would have put a big damper in MuteAce's plans. But speaking of this damper in plans, and you're getting ready to point it out, I think that in general, just this lead is starting to dissipate fast.
I mean, yeah, Mute is... He was playing so, like, basically perfectly. And, yeah, got to watch those blocks on the left side. Going to come into play right here, though, and Yonni just right back to center stage. Bit of an overcommit, but Mute actually wasn't ready to punish that dash attack.
Yeah, surprisingly, the thing I was pointing out before, too, is that Mute just straight up threw away the Stitch face. It's like, no, not working. Hasn't been able to hit one yet, which is kind of surprising. But weapon, the gear is broken, so it's forced to switch over to that gold armor, like we said, gold weapons. So fast, but that's one of the few out-of-shield options that can be punished there.
Do not make me think about a world in which Steve can also craft armor. I don't think we need that.
Oh my god, if he goes into diamond gear, I'm done.
Diamond gear, diamond sword, it's like Shulk shield Monado.
Yeah.
You just go
nowhere. All right, yeah, no, that's singularly the topic that gets brought up a ton. Nobody would have defense anymore.
Unless he's Pichu weight with no armor and it breaks pretty easily, there's no way. No way. But we're not here to theory craft about if Smash was different, how different would it be?
I do really like that world thinking about that, though. Where man's Pichu weight just gets knocked out easily.
We go!
Currently, we're looking at what could be a potential move to a game number 5 if MuteAce is able to make that happen. Yonni is kind of having a bit of a struggle here, finding a KO option, looking for some back airs to try and punish one of these floats, but Mute is just fading away, saying, I don't need to do anything. I have the lead. I'm going to wait to whiff punish you.
I have the lead, exactly. You were talking about it earlier. Mute's just one of the best players in the world when he's got a lead, and you can see exactly why. He has just been impossible to lock down. You can't cage him, box him, or stop him because he's playing Peach. He's got amazing mobility, and that does not come by default. You have to practice that mobility, but Mute has got it in spades.
And now Jonny with absolutely no material. Now going to go and mine a little bit of it right now, but that's the time to go in after the Steves. Anytime you see no mats down there, that's your chance, but the dash attack gets it done. We are still in a world where this could end up being a 3-1 for Yonni.
I'm going to throw out a crazy theory for you as Mute does take that game number 4, sending us to a game 5. I have a crazy theory for you. I think Mute, if he had the opportunity to think about it, don't know if he did or not, but DIing up on that dash attack to die instead of going all the way to the corner as Peach and having to come all the way back to stop the Steve from mining when you're already, up 1 stock, Steve at 110. Might have been a better play.
You know, there are times where we as casters do look for something to try and build a little bit of extra story. However, Mute is one of the players in the game where what you're saying would actually make sense.
I would give him that credit.
Yeah, Mute would hold in and up to this for the sake of getting back fast enough to not let Yonni get more resources. So
I think that even if he had gotten star KO'd, compared to being all the way in the other corner of
and
PS2,
having to recover,
he might have actually still gotten to the Steve faster.
Yeah, and you might have been looking at maybe another diamond, maybe enough to start minecarting everywhere. So, that might have been a part of the play. But right now, because of the fact that you end up dying early, we are seeing that game number 5. Yonni's been playing well since the second game beatdown, and Mute has been able to make a lot of adjustments too. Who takes it though? This is who continues in the number 1 seeded slot of the bracket.
I think that the onus is on Mute to have, extra tools in his pocket right now because Yonni doesn't need to do too much different. He just needs to continue to find his way to mine, connect some big combos when he's got the good tools, and that's really all about it. I think that he played excellently in that game 4. Mute just had a couple more tools than he did, but you've got to continue to expand that toolbox as the set goes on.
Yeah, I think a big majority of it is just like you said, the tools, the access, the materials. But Yonni was laughing a ton earlier. You can see the hand raised frustration on that one. Mute just smothered him against the wall. It's like, I don't care if that's in the way. I'll beat you up against that too until I get to stock.
He did a Harlem Globetrotters routine. hit the basketball off the easy and then hit the forward air afterwards. Mute is just absolutely moving right now, and you can tell, right? Yonni's not having as much fun. I would dare say, even looking at the gameplay, possibly a little bit tilted because we see him not focusing on mining as much. There are a few times where Mute kind of gets close to his bubble, and then he throws out a grab, or he tries to swing, just tries to get something to get that Peach away from him, and he's leaving himself wide open in a couple of these places.
You know what? Honestly, that coolness bubble will pop pretty often for most players. It doesn't matter what the level fighting against MuteAce. MuteAce is so good at frustrating you into thinking any single time you finally have a way to read that float, you are just absolutely incorrect.
Well, and the thing about MuteAce is he doesn't try to play the mental game. He doesn't actively look to do those things to your brain. It just happens because he plays the game so well. And you're like, what am I supposed to do about this with him continuing to get all up in my face like this? But Yonni has figured at least out, okay, dash attack, I've got my diamond ready. Probably want to save it for that final stock and get that comeback potential. But you know what? if you got no pickaxe, he's just going to let it rock.
Yeah, just smacking him away. You don't want to burn the diamond right now because you want to make sure you have it at least on last stock. Yonni is one of the people, though, who is capable of, even after getting KO'd here, knows so many zero-to-death routes. So you get rid of this stock, and then you get a zero-to-death off of that diamond. There's very much a potential to get back in the game. So far, though, MuteAce is not playing at all like he's going to allow that.
A bloop and a blast, man. But, I mean, Yonni is not getting a chance to even get his bloop. He does finally get that back there right there. So here we go. Now we need a blast and a blast. Yonni needs a grand slam to get back into this one.
Fine now, as long as Mute doesn't get the double play off the wall into that forward air. But currently, at the moment, it is definitely seeming like this might be a home run play as the RNG comes in again for the Stitch face, tossing it up, trying to get him to stay still, re-grabs it, tosses it away, but it was looking kind of fearful.
He has had some insane luck today. The thing is, it hasn't even really mattered that much. Yonni, though, missing his NIL for the second block on that tower right there could have opened up something huge for him to get back into this one, and that's, again, very uncharacteristic of a combo fiend like him, but that honestly could be a deciding factor between whether or not it's possible for him to come back in this one.
Yeah, that was crucial because that now makes a big difference on how much material he was able to get access to too while having another stock, but he did get back to a fresh diamond. MuteAce being very, very cautious about trying to land safely. If I'm going to get hit, I'm going to get hit by like an up air, but I'm not letting you hit me with that back air.
I mean, you can see where he stops that double jump with the float. He is exactly right where Yonni cannot double jump back air him. Exactly at that height, and Mute is always going to play outside of that range. And at 154, Yonni, even on that wall, I mean, he's got to know that just a couple more hits and just about anything can take him out.
Yeah, you are at dash attack ranges, you're at up tilt anti-air ranges pretty much at this point. You're getting close to throw ranges for Peach too. So, down air, maybe?
Off the top, it does?
We just watched a down air from Peach kill in the year 2023. What an insane set, though. Mute, you know, smiling after that one, but that was so something about Maryland has been invaded by Ridley, and we have seen small doses of War Guts. I'm pretty sure that's Oklahoma because I saw somebody from DBFC who had that. I'm probably wrong, chat. Correct me later. But currently, Diddy Kong against Ridley is just going to scare him because Banana was there, and now Ridley's down a stock.
I don't even understand how that happened. I'll be honest, but Beastly has that effect on people, so you know what? Mental damage. Mental damage, that's all it is.
All right, so one of the things I was going to talk about with Ridley before that moment happened is Diddy Kong does not like obscure matchups, especially zoners, but Ridley is not necessarily a zoner, but his range is got some really good poking between the nair, the down tilt, back air, anti-air game. All of those work well. The biggest thing that's a bad factor for Ridley is that he's a bigger frame character, so it's much easier to be able to get combos on.
Combos, I mean, it just gives you confidence to keep pressing forward. And you were talking about how Beastly does love to be aggressive, and Diddy Kong affords you that opportunity to do so without actually having to commit to something that is inherently aggressive, like an unsafe attack on shield. And you want to talk about aggressive, even aggressive out of the disadvantage.
Yeah.
Just air dodge directly into him, and he was like, yeah, I'll be fine.
I'm actually surprised that Kaden wasn't ready for the frame trap right there with that falling up air, maybe expecting some kind of swing out. But after that early SD and that trip up, that's going to go ahead and give Beastly a very solid lead. Reminder again, this is best of 5, but you're now going, you're what looks like going to be going down at a pretty quick W to this Diddy Kong.
I mean, this is just what Beastly does to you. And also, I mean, one of the big things that Ridley has going for him usually is that nobody fights against Ridley, right?
Yeah.
You just never run into Ridley players and you get some weird matchup inexperience going on. But Beastly knows every character in this game. He could pick the random button and probably top 8 this tournament, which says nothing about the competitors otherwise, other than Beastly here, because there are very good players here. That's just who he is. He knows this game inside and out, and on like one of those intuitive levels where he doesn't always explain it perfectly, but when you watch him play, you understand that he does.
Yeah, Smash is a very good, easy access, like, to, if you have good fundamentals, you could be able to make many characters work. And one thing that could have worked, by the way, I feel like Kaden was looking for that early sneak forward smash KO at 50% with that down throw, force an air dodge, get a nair, and build up some damage. That normally would still exist, but the fact that Beastly's up a whole stock, he's not really going to care about that situation much and not panic air dodge.
Well, and that is part of the game plan that I've seen from Kaden is Beastly does slide in, get that up smash to confirm for the KO, take that game 1. Not really minding the game plan from Kaden, which from what I have seen thus far has been a lot of conditioning, especially in your disadvantage, and then trying to break you apart from there, because once Ridley does get his hands on you, claws, talon, sword, tail,
It's somewhere there.
Somewhere. Yeah, all of
that's the mecha version too, so it's like maybe robotic claws.
All of them mangly, every single inch of Ridley can do damage to you, right? Yeah. So, I mean, whatever. Any part of Ridley that touches you that can do damage, everything that the leg touches,
it's Ridley's kingdom.
it's Ridley's kingdom, right? And that's a lot of Ridley, right? But what I'm trying to get at is that once he does hit you, there is a lot that can be done to you because he can keep you in that disadvantage for a long time. But that is very difficult to get against Diddy Kong, who is so good at escaping those situations in the first place. And like you mentioned, Beastly doesn't care. My God.
What the hell? Oh
my
God.
The sauciest non-KO 75% I've ever seen.
It's so easy for Diddy Kong to get combo extensions off of platforms, but the way that Beastly kept it going, including that monkey flip at the end, was so good. But look at Kaden answering right back too. Ridley's got some decent damage output when you do find the hits, but even with the Blast Zones and Kalos on that platform, there is no shot.
The big issue is how are you going to get the KOs? Because Kaden got Beastly to, you know, pretty reasonable percents very quickly in that last game, but just couldn't take him down. And I love Beastly right there opting for the monkey flip too, because those barrels would have sunk you down into that nair. And again, showing off that knowledge. Kalos, though, coming in clutch for the little monkey.
And waiting out that, it's smart on Kaden, not trying to swing too early because you do have access to be able to hold the wall. And Epsil is an amazing tool to two-frame at the ledge. That is the third successful command grab, and that one actually will do it. I think he might have side beat in the blast zone because I'm fairly certain he wasn't going to die that like that.
Yeah, it's one of those moments where you're like, okay, I got to mash my side B and get back, but it continues your momentum at the first few frames that you start a special move like that, so it'll just push you back into the blast zone. Very unfortunate right there, but Beastly is still obviously playing with a great lead. Down tilt, not going to have an opportunity for an up smash, so I like the option to just pick up the Nana instead. Yeah,
very smartly too. Putting up that shield, one of the main options that Ridley will do from ledge is that rising there. Make sure that he just keeps it simple, moves him right on over with that banana up smash.
That's so unfair for Ridley too, because he's just so big that he's just going to get shield poked by the banana. There's nothing he can do about it.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that could go wrong very swiftly. I do think though that oh, this could be big. This could be big. Oh my God, what a read! Such a good play there from Kaden. All you have to do is get them to freak out on that platform, and you can easily sneak one away.
This is exactly what I was talking about with Kaden. His conditioning on your disadvantage has been so good that, again, all he really needs is one opening, especially as the set goes on. He's going to find more and more opportunities like that to just absolutely blow you up out of nowhere.
And all of a sudden, like, the game is still very doable because of the fact that Ridley has some very good KO power. If he can get access to stealing the banana away or make Beastly just needs to make one bad decision on landing around 50-ish%, and you can steal the game away.
And it's hard to make a bad decision, as Diddy called. Very safe character to play. That banana comes into play for Beastly, taking the 2-0 lead right here.
Diddy Kong with banana in hand while shield is up is like a top one situation. There's so minimal options you have to deal with that setup at all. Once they have banana in hand, it's like, okay, you got it. I don't know what you want, but you got it.
Frame 6 item toss out of shield or something like that. Like
that becomes a kill confirm, a combo starter. And even if you screw up on trade, you reset neutral because they tripped.
Exactly.
Banana greater than the sword.
Fine.
And a space pirate.
People are always talking about Banana's mightier than the sword or not time to shoot him, but no, Banana. The pratfall comedy is better than any sort of actual damage.
I have apple. What? I was gonna make the apple pen joke, but I realized I forgot to say banana.
Banana, I have apple. I was like, good, it sounds like a healthy breakfast, DJ. I'm happy.
I highly recommend this is what you eat on a regular basis.
Thanks, Doc. Anyways, we got a game 3.
Game 3 looking like it's rapid fire going in the south direction for Kaden at the moment. Gonna go ahead and get back on, but that's like the 4th time he's done rising there in that situation, which has become progressively easier to read.
And Caden's usually all about those reads, so you'd think that the attentiveness would be there, right? But Beastly is just eating apart. I mean, especially the movement, I think, from Kaden is the one thing that you have to be so unpredictable as Ridley. Beastly will be able to DI out of that. You were so tense.
I really enjoy watching Ridley's do ridiculous stuff. I was actually getting hyped up because I thought he was going to get the read again and go for an early KO, but smartly on Beastly, knowing the forward airs aren't going to be what kills me here.
Whoa, great high recovery there by Beastly. He's got those angles, and he's got those confirms too. Diddy's super move activated, 1 bar burned, we go to final stock.
If you ever needed another, oh my God, what an excellent answer to that regrab, the instant up B to get that spike down. So Kaden he's got life in there. It's difficult, but there's life. That said, that downer hurts, and that is only starting to climb further up.
The problem has just been that neutral or trying to approach that Diddy, right, is that I think that he has been a bit too predictable, and Beastly has been able to eat him alive for that. I saw that in the last set Kaden was playing as well, right? But I think that, the punish game is so clearly there, you just got to figure out a way to get your hands on the monkey.
Yeah, which is it's just such a difficult task, because that back there should be enough to do right there. DI cross up as well, not going upwards, wants to hold out, and Beastly taking that 3-0, going up here against Mr. Game & Watch. Remember, this is top 32, most likely, like you were saying before, probably another
winner's
qualifier.
Quarters, it is. So the winner of this will make it into top 8 winner's side, and the other one will have to play out one more if they want to make it to Sunday finals. See how it goes as Game 1 is on Pokemon Stadium 2. So so much Pokemon Stadium.
So much.
No use of the other stages, huh?
We don't
No love.
Yeah, who needs them? Who needs them? Especially when Doofus is blending in with the grass, or the AstroTurf, if you will, in this situation. Doofus playing very well and very aggressive against this Roy, which is something you normally don't see too often. Most of the time they're playing out of shield to get the Roy as they rush in too much, but that's not the way Doofus is running, going about this.
When stocks are even, Doofus will actually get up in your face, and he has got that combo game down pat. And, I mean, against a character like Roy, your combo game should be down pat because he is absolutely combo food, but gotta worry his Game & Watch right now, right? You miss one tech, Jonny is going to tech chase you, either get that side beat or that jab in the back air, but it is a different combo to take that first stock, and it is for Doofus getting that down smash into forward smash.
Yeah, you were mentioning a little while ago too, like you haven't seen Jonny play up against Game & Watch in a while, so definitely some unfamiliarity on approaches. I haven't really seen like a lot of safe aerials that have been pushed out, and Doofus is just taking full advantage of that so far.
And I think that, again, I was saying, this is probably going to be the big problem, is that I don't know how much Game & Watch experience Jonny actually has, and that can really come back to bite you if you don't know, how you are allowed to approach him, right? I mean, in that situation, catch him dashing back. There's a very nice delay on the jab right there from Jonny, catching that stock out. But, again, kind of going to be a little trial by fire, learn on the job.
I like what Doofus tried to do a second ago too, like at the late hit nair, went for the back air to get the drag down on the fall to get another reset nair. You don't see that too often, but that would have been a lot of damage because it would have dragged you right back over to that platform. Double-edged dance really does not care about the rules of the game, as we see Mr. Game & Watch disappear at 85.
Would have gone sooner too, because this is a very light character. What did I say about missing a tech against Jonny? Not miss a tech. You better tech every single time and buffer the right option, because you're not living for your Game & Watch.
Not at all. Like you said, it would have probably been around 50-ish that ended up getting that kill instead. But 66% and climbing. Game & Watch has made many comebacks from further positions before, so it's not done by any means. But I like that Jonny has chosen, I'm going to fight in center. You have to come to me because I'm not going to go rush you down on shield. There's no point. I'm going to take a lot of damage for it.
You are going to take a stock for trying to roll off that ledge. So Jonny taking that game one. I mean, just really beautiful stuff in terms of saying, playing with the lead, yeah, right? Saying, okay, I don't have to take risks to throw out a move that can directly hit you. I will throw out something that is close. If you decide to come to me, I will connect, but it's not going to be close enough that I'm going to be punished for.
Yeah, sometimes in some situations, the best action is no action at all. If you are not choosing to rush right into Game & Watch's hands, you're not getting a feed, you're not taking theirs right under a platform, mind you, that will push you to 80+, which will drag the game back into their favor. You stay in center, it'll be a lot better. Here is the question oh, never mind. Okay, it was Smashville. That was still a little concerning because it's the smallest distance you need to take to get to a ledge trap, which will help Jonny a bit. But I think that Doofus was not comfortable with the fact that you couldn't find enough drags onto that platform and watch those combos.
And now you do get those setups for free, but you actually have to capitalize on them too, regarding those different heights on the platforms and everything as well, right? So got to make sure that that's unlocked. Jonny with some great evasion right there, drifting it with a totally safe nair. Now right back to this ledge trap, but there Doofus saying, okay, you're not just going to get the mash on me. Please respect me a little more.
I'm just happy, too, that we at least get a change of scenery. You were talking about it before. We've seen so much PS2. And Smashville, it's a great stage for both. There's no real negative to being here, but you don't have to deal with that problem of something like a town and city if you're trying to force some better landings out of Jonny. But Jonny pressuring that soft hit, the sour spot in there almost being, fair, almost being enough to take it out.
Not quite, though. Game & Watch is just not light enough for that to work out, and that Smashville ceiling is a little bit higher as well. And there, he's too light for Jonny to connect a combo, but raw hits can certainly do it, so he will get out to the lead.
Yeah, just barely out of that jab into up air percentage to be able to get that, but Jonny is not backing off at all. Again, double-edged dance at ledge is a kill option here, so you need to be very careful as Doofus on how long you decide to stall out before you get back up.
Dude, I just love the double pump fake from Jonny when he gets you in those tech chase scenarios. He'll dash forward, dash back, dash forward. You think, okay, he's got to be attacking me now. And he tosses in another dash back just for fun to see if you panic.
He's incredibly good at it so far. And finally, Doofus strikes back with a down air right there. So the biggest thing right now is avoid that. Avoid that move right there. That nair is going to even up the game with one opener. And Jonny played perfectly around it.
Perfect spacing right there. And getting aggressive too, right? Throwing out some hitboxes that very difficult for Game & Watch to suggest. There is another one of those double pumps from Jonny. You see Doofus kind of crumbling to that pressure. Does flinch pretty much every time. He said blue punch buggy, and he said, huh?
Oh my god, I haven't played that game in so damn long. It wasn't stupid. It really is. Hey, here's an excuse to
I
hit
saw a
you.
Volkswagen Beetle. I'm going to slap you now.
I have full rights to just commit violence in this car.
Dude, worst version would be in Texas and being like, Ford F-150, ugh!
Nobody would ever be able to have feeling in their arms.
We would all be dead.
Oh, man. Actually, Doofus bringing this all the way back. Jonhy dead on the spot right there. Only 60%. We mentioned it before. One well-placed nair, and that is an even damage off of that platform.
Hey, look, he placed an air well.
Oh my.
We're back to an even game, AJ.
Well done, Game & Watch, for being you. now Doofus bringing this all the way back. That's going to be a... Oh, that swing out of disadvantage worked so well, and because that easily would have been another ledge trap for Doofus.
Jonhy, though, he just needs one down tilt tech chase. Double edge stance on the sour spot's almost never going to be enough. I don't know if he's even going to be able to connect like jab into up air or anything, and getting a sour spot on the F tilt as well. Jonhy going deep off stage and giving us heart palpitations.
Yeah, that's a bit risky right there. If you take a trade off stage and Doofus steals the game away, all the work that you did was for absolutely nothing, but Doofus is bringing this back. Come on, all you need, Doofus just needs a down smash now. You get one grounded option, and that is now your game, but that's not going to be what happens as the forward air finally finds his mark. Jonhy gets it up to into a 2-0 lead.
Jonhy just fascinates me because I don't even think that he reacted to that Game & Watch forward there. I think that he was going to run off and fair there anyways, even if Doofus immediately had upbeat already.
100%, that was flowchart taking over. Like, look, we are going into autopilot, and we are swinging. That's it. Like, I'm done with this gameplay. I'm going out there, and if it works, it works. If it doesn't, hopefully we get back on stage.
Big hopefully, because
Yeah,
we
big
have seen
hopefully.
Doofus actually pick those up. But we will be going to a Game 3. Jonhy, of course, sticking it out with Roy, and Doofus sticking it out with the Game & Watch. He is dedicated to that character, but we are going to a different stage. It's small battlefield this time, so still a little bit of a different change of scenery, but I think definitely noting that, okay, Smash Bros. A little too small.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that happened. It's like, look, I don't want the same range that PS2 had. I still want to be near a platform, but Jonhy took full advantage of constantly pushing me to ledge in last game. I cannot let that happen again.
I mean, Doofus is just, I think he's trying too hard to actually make things happen, whereas most of the best Game & Watches out there, you watch Meister, you watch Mia, I mean, they spend so much time just sitting there and going, I'm going to find a way to be just close enough that you are going to think that you can hit me, and then you made a mistake because none of my stuff is punishable.
Yeah, I mean, like, not even meant as, like, a joke or against any of their playstyles, but you kind of have to turn your brain off a little bit when you're playing up against a Roy with the Game & Watch. You have to just essentially think, they're going to rush me at some point. I'm going to go for the very straightforward defensive option. And once they are now afraid of that, then I can start to overthink it and go for some bigger combo plays. Okay, the evil in me wanted the side B. I wanted the judgment, but Doofus, a much better player, decided to continue to get damage.
The forward throw sets up on the platform. Beautiful stuff by Jonhy right there. Not many people are even going to notice that they have that opportunity to set up that tech chase, but I think he knew that if he just immediately got that out there, Doofus wouldn't be able to react in DI in time. Most people expect that back throw, try to read a jump, but Jonhy keeping it simple, like you said.
Yeah, simplicity is key against Game & Watch the majority of the time. You have to make sure that you're not doing anything overcomplicated, because then you're going to take massive amounts of damage that you don't want, especially grounded-based punishes that are very easy early knockouts. Doofus has constantly been trying to swing out a disadvantage. Compared to the early games, though, he was getting the hits. Jonny's refusing to let him get any of these back airs or these down airs out of disadvantage anymore.
You have to know that when you're playing against Game & Watch, he is at his strongest when he is playing like a human Elden Ring boss fight, right? That is when Game & Watch is at his scariest. But when you look at it that way and you just go, oh, okay, so I just have to wait for the openings like this right here. Oh, he whipped the forward air? Great. I can just get my lick in. I can get out.
That's keep that going. Again, simplicity is key. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, especially against Game & Watch. We are already at a very dangerous position for Doofus. He's going to get set to 39. We are at double-edged dance ranges, which means he's probably going to go high right there, and his damage is continuing to climb.
Jonny didn't get the sour spot the first time. Get the pants red off of you with that roll. He is casting the fishing line and sending himself into
top 8 winner side. The #1 seed in the tournament, sitting in that position to try and get there. But Skeleton, like you said, getting access back to their main character. Big fan of the outfit that he decided to choose, because of course that is the Tekken 3 Jin pants.
Yes,
and
it is.
It's just the best one.
Look, I mean, if you don't have love for Tekken 3, I mean,
you're doing it wrong.
Where are you at? Come on.
That is how to be incorrect, just so you know.
You get yourself some culture. Right now, Mute giving Skelly his daily dose of veggies right now. 106, and so many of them starting off those turnips, which, I mean, look, Peach normally has to start off things by being up close to you, but when you got those turnips, you don't have to be anywhere near that Kazuya threat zone, because otherwise, you start taking stuff like this.
Yeah, prior to that moment, Mute was delivering an ass whooping. Like, there was not really much of an answer that was happening there, and that's exactly what we expect to see from Mute. Like, down airs on shield, pressure game, float away. The moment it is a bad position for you to fight against Kazuya, get out of there. But Kazuya also just needs one good open, and all of a sudden that could be a stock, like almost right there.
Perfectly timed air dodge by MuteAce right there to stay alive, though. Skelly nearly got his stock, but staying alive. Kazuya, very heavy man, gonna take a back air at 160 to do it, and now we get to see MuteAce with a full-fledged lead, playing 3 stocks to 2, got some damage, and now he's going to build it up on Skelly, because he made one whiff, even if it was an electric. Somehow I still get damage.
Oh man, that float coverage on neutral get up is so crazy, because you can react to roll in, neutral get up attack as you move away from it. There's so much that comes from that, and Mute is just so good at reacting, and because of all that kimono, we're already looking at 83% over on Skeleton.
Even if Skelly gets this stock immediately, still not the best position to be in, because Mute still gets to play with that lead, and I don't think that Skelly got the input that he wanted to try to anti-air Mute right there, so now he's at 111, and trying to burn that rage drive to take the stock, but every time you whip it, that's one of the fastest ways to lose it, and Skelly not connecting that is going to be a huge problem for him going forward. Man, Mute dominant right now in this game 1.
Taking that back here, and Mute, like we said before, once you get to this position, you can platform camp, you can hide, but Mute is actually willing to box, just staying right up close and personal, saying, I have the lead, there's no reason for me to run from you, and once again, 2 times in a row, just saying, I do not care, thank you for the little back scratch right there as I'm about to 3 stock.
Nobody is better against DLC2 than MuteAce, just from a mental standpoint, just from a preparation standpoint, and you are seeing it. He can just see the threat zone bubbles, like, physically, with his eyes.
I think quite literally the only person I can think of is, like, Fargo. Like, and that's the best player in the game.
You're talking about the best player in the world.
Yeah, like, the Mute has been so good against these matchups that it's been freaking them out to the point where they don't know how to behave at a disadvantage, and it's continuing right now as Skeleton is struggling to get back on. Gonna maybe go for the pre-buffered rage drive. Doesn't do it though. For anybody who doesn't know, you can input that to get the invincible frames off the ledge, but it's been punished for it so many times, you're gonna second guess that.
You're gonna start getting conditioned out of it, yeah. And at 172, taking a trip to the blast zone, courtesy of the 9-iron. MuteAce with that game 1 dub, and solidly.
And the Mishima family not going to be making much of an extension past that point after where that
in shambles.
Yeah, Jeep Corp in shambles. There will be no more Mishimas after where that golf club hit. But you know, honestly, might be a good
probably
thing.
better for the world.
Probably better for the world,
yeah.
because that family is out here ruining lots of lives.
To kindly put it, they're a mess.
Yeah, that is quite actually in media. That's got to be like top 5 worst families.
One family just messes everything up.
Who even would contend with the Mishimas in worst?
I mean, it's not like the family's particularly messed up, but like the Skywalkers being at the center of literally everything in Star Wars. Like if I lived in that universe, I'd hate the Skywalkers. I'd be like, can we please just kill them all and have a normal life?
It would be a lot of people would be in a better off position for sure. But Mishima bloodline is living, and apparently he's tired of his son's attire, so he's gonna go back to business. Like you said, G Corp was down, so he's got to go to the office. Maybe he can raise the stocks up right now.
Why'd I say, AJ, what son? I think Mute just retconned Jin out of existence.
Again, not bad for the world.
Not bad for the world.
Currently continuing to get at least some hits in, though. Like Skelly actually getting a few anti-airs, which is good because you need to find a way to make Mute play grounded, which so far Mute has been able to play perfectly short hop distance, and if you jump forward air with me, Kazuya, cool. Like, that's fine. I'll let you hit me with that. I'd rather not take the electric.
Oh, big whiff. You'd actually got a glancing blow on that forwarder, and that might have even reversed hit based on the positioning, but does not matter. Picks up that edge guard with the turnip. We're going to have to see once again how Mute plays with this lead and see if maybe this time Skelly's got a quicker adaptation ready for him right away to chase him up and get something started.
Oh my god, Mute is in the business of misery, and it's booming right now. That was so close to being a 0 to death. So much coverage right there. Even after messing up the forward of the coverage after to try and follow up. Like, I know we've been talking a lot about Mute, but it's mostly because Skeleton hasn't given us a lot to talk about at the moment.
He has not been able to make anything happen, and it's not his fault. Mute has just been there to cover absolutely everything, and the moment that Skelly does combos with something like that. Mute's right there to punish it too, but finally, Electric into the range drive.
I respect that for the sake of guaranteeing you don't drop the up B. Like, you should still be able to hit the up B. It's massive. But just in case, guaranteeing that gets the KO.
That was just like the angriest rage drive ever. Like, that was enraged drive.
That one was personal.
It's like, I gotta get this one on the board. I'm tired of this.
I don't think he's surviving past this. Oh, he actually did. Wow. Like, so again, there's so much coverage. Mute forces you to take the routes that he wants to take, especially against Kazuya doesn't have the best disadvantage. It's laser or aggressive approach.
Dude,
that's it.
Skelly's recoveries have been really, really nice, though. Like, to his credit, Kazuya is a pretty vulnerable character off stage, but he has not been just giving these stocks away to MuteAce. He has been thinking his way out of quite a few scenarios where you thought Kazuya would be gone, and giving him opportunities like this to get an immediate 70, this Peach could be gone before you can blink.
That Dragon Uppercut was so close to taking out at 99%, but that is exactly what you needed. Even if you lose your stock here at 196, you have even the game up now.
But MuteAce saying, all right, let's not keep it that way. Oh, man. But, man, one stock left for Skelly in this game, too. Plenty you can do with one Kazuya stock, but not if you keep chasing you down like this. 5 nairs in a row. We just keep going.
Yeah, luckily, I actually fell off that platform to prevent Ferps and a potential command grab. It actually ended up working out worse for Skeleton because of that. Skelly looking to try and kick back that turnip, though. Not going to be able to find an answer to that. At least for him, though, that's going to even up the game.
Now, again, got Kazuya with a little bit of rage. Some of the DFW crowd coming alive because they want to see Skelly make this comeback, even up the game, but we have to see another godlike recovery for him, and this time Mute's not falling for it, but the forward air, so smart. He's got an answer for everything out there.
Sneaking his way out. Rage drive here is a huge dub, and he misses the follow-up. That would have been the game most likely in that situation, but now Skeleton's got to hunt for it again. Mute, for the first time, is playing with some fear.
Well, and look at this. The way that he is dancing around Skelly, he is trying to bait out those rage drives so that it's not a factor anymore, but yeah, Skelly dropping a couple of combos, can't have that.
This is the make or break moment. Like, this just... that might be it, maybe. Yes, it is. Skeleton's going to put himself on the board. Like you said, the DFW crowd is popping off, seeing that go to 1-1.
And Skelly just a heroic run through that game where it just seemed like it was, okay, Mute's got a really solid lead after that first stock. Looks like we're going to a game 3, no question, with, 2-0 and, good try, handshake, whatever. But now Skelly bringing that one all the way back from the depth, having that confidence where even after dropping those combos, did not falter.
It 100% felt like that was absolutely going to be going to a 2-0 lead for MuteAce, but Skeleton started finding answers, started getting better anti-airs, and the most important thing, started actually getting some grounded combos. They were not to be found anywhere for the first game and the first couple stocks of game 2.
Now he's actually getting those opportunities, right? And it's not just that Mute's making mistakes either. Skelly's positioning has gotten better and better through these games, and he gets a disgusting first stock.
Oh my God, not even committing to a follow-up up B or anything, just a full forward smash, and the first lead we have seen of the set so far for Skeleton.
Playing patiently around that rage drive because he doesn't want to take that stock and then immediately start at 44 with that extra credit built up from Skelly. No way to get around that edge guard, though, with no double jump, no laser, no nothing, no hope.
Incredibly smart on MuteAce, too, because Skeleton was intentionally taking that hit for turnip so he could be able to use this up B still, keep the jump, get back. Mute said absolutely not, because you got some end lag to the up B. I'm going to make sure you get hit.
Man, seeing some great combo DI from Skelly. You saw the way that MuteAce adapted immediately, nearly got the stock off of it. He's going to go for it again, but can't find it because this disadvantage has been so good from Skelly. And that's something that hasn't always been there from him, but he is really impressing me with his ability to not let Mute turn every opening into something ridiculous.
It definitely is impressive because there's a point in time in any match where you see that MuteAce has done the I am tired of you look and starts to absolutely overwhelm. But Skeleton has been able to rebound even after 2 very close calls of getting near 0 to death, and in fact ends up taking the lead first.
The problem is Mute might be tired of you, but Skelly is not tired of you. In fact, he wants more right now. Sitting at 103. Stock could go pretty soon here, but again, we've seen how good these recoveries have been, and Mute even trying to mix it up out there, has just not been able to lock down this Kazuya. Perfectly spaced forward air, though. We go to final stock.
He indeed wanted all the smoke, and Mute was absolutely willing to give it. Now we're on last stock here, like you said. It's going to be a solid 60 plus off that first combo string. Can he keep the lead, though? Because Skeleton has actually been getting back on and answering back this time, Nakamura.
Yeah, Mute's positioning, you can tell that there is a big difference in that he's just not quite as aggressive in terms of throwing out the moves willy-nilly. He's gotten whip punished a couple times, but do not keep hanging on that ledge. Mute knows when that invincibility runs out, and he is ready to put that crown on your head, and not in a way to make you win.
And again, you see it right at the end there, too. The look that, like, there's the occasional time where you watch Mute, and you can see it in the body language.
His aura is going crazy right now.
Mute has got so much anger that the camera is indeed folding to his will. But Mute got fed up at one point, and the fact that Skeleton was able to keep it as close is so impressive. And if you're a fan of Skeleton, you want to see him get through, that last game tells me there is a very high chance we could be seeing game number 5.
We'll have to see if he can do it on Town and City, though, right now. I hate that we're like just 30 minutes before we get the KK slider beats, because I'm kind of down for that.
All the time nowadays, too. We always just miss out on KK slider.
I mean, it's better to not be, playing the game at 11 p.m.
That's a fair point.
I'm still missing my KK cruise, and I want it bad.
Want to hear the beat? Is everyone going to hear the rock music? They got a concert going on in the back.
That is true, but not right next to the stage.
This time not next to the stage. that was a fiasco. Currently, we're looking at 80% to 92. Very close game again, and we talked about it before. Skeleton has proven that not only has he made some adaptations, but he can absolutely force this game 5. Here on Town and City, it's a little bit of a risk because all those really close calls that Mute had before are going to be a little bit easier to kill considering Kazuya's heavy. But that also means that Kazuya's going to be killing a little earlier, too, with some of these back airs.
Immediately looking for that F-tilt. Like you were saying right there, they are both taking a trip right now, but Skelly definitely in the worst position. And Mute was trying to get that forward air on the ledge again, just barely misspaced it. May have even been a feint. I would even give him credit for that, knowing that Skelly saw him do it last time. But there's that back air, like you said, AJ, going to take that first stock.
Yeah, the game plan's really smart. I like the idea of it because you were trying to go vertical all the time before, then you're starting to realize, wait, I've caught on to MuteAce's jump patterns. By the way, if that platform stayed there was a world where Rage Drive would have killed.
Oh, yeah.
So, very, very lucky case here for MuteAce that is now gone.
And Skelly, though, he says, I don't even need luck. I just need to get my hands on you and do some big damage. Does take a trip to that right side blast zone. I just love saying that, but I can't get enough. And right now, Skelly is going to have to continue on to that second stock with that lead, but on the second stock nonetheless. And he is in a phenomenal position right now.
Yeah, he has picked it up a ton over these last couple games, and that fear that Mute had before is very minimal. Granted, Mute's going to get a clean 48 right here off of that string. Continuing, and that's a Town and City potential early KO. If that's not Kazuya, that might have been dead. But instead, he was still not done. That laser is going to get destroyed.
That was an insane stock from Mute where he was so far behind, and yet he says, oh, right, I'm fighting against a character I hate. I better turn up these jets, bro, because I don't want to keep doing this. He missed his float cancel right there, though, so instead that full hop there, you can see Mute in the player cam knows exactly what he did wrong right there, and disappointing, because that could have led to the entire game.
Yeah, most likely. At minimum, would have been around the 80, 90-ish% window, but MuteAce starting to build it up, crossing up on that downer to make sure he's far enough away to get away from auto turnaround. This one time, you have to make sure you don't go for laser because he already got punished for it before. In Kimona, this is getting even worse for Skeleton. Completely unchecked so far.
113 does get through the turnip right there, but still stuck in the corner. Pressure from Mute, and Skelly nearly turned it around completely. Not going to go off stage for the double dip on those nairs because Peach can definitely make that back.
Quite literally the best case scenario for MuteAce was to fall through that, fall off that stage, because if you landed in front, you were going to die. But now 140, Rage Drive is gone. It's going to be a little bit easier to try and condition a bad defensive option, and instead giving a lot of respect right there.
Tried to get that electric out, just got the normal Wind God Fist, but did not get punished for it. There's that fair to put a little check on MuteAce. Get him right back into the corner, a little bit of a juggle. Nearly got the confirm into the electric, but did not have the time. There's the Peach Bomber, but it's not enough.
Not enough just yet. The crowd getting livid with it. It is 156 to 73. There's still a chance for Skeleton to get back in the game, but the back air will take it out, and that's going to be MuteAce shutting it down, getting that position in the winners semis of this bracket. There's only time for his skill to improve.
Wait, hold up. a Game & Watch player against a young Steve Prodigy, I will shield my eyes from the player cams. Anyways, we got game one between DJDON and Doofus right now. Game & Watch against Steve, as we mentioned. DJDON, so many impressive performances lately. He did incredibly well at, I believe it was MomoCon last weekend, was it not?
Yes. I believe he got 9th place. He was in, he got 2nd, I believe, in doubles.
Yes, he did, alongside Diddy.
Yeah, it was the double Steve. They ended up losing to Mysterica and Anathema because they just straight up refused to lose to anyone.
They are such a good
were
team.
insane.
Such a good team.
So that it was definitely a great showcase for him, though, for proving that he absolutely can do it both local and on the national level. But this is a matchup we're seeing so much more nowadays because we talked about Akola and Mia, but we're seeing even more of Game Watches show up, and there's plenty of Steves.
I will admit, Akola and Mia are better players than these two. So this is technically, Akola versus Mia at home, but these two are still incredibly good. Incredibly good players, these two.
Hey, the matchup in and of itself we're seeing is way more, like I said, more common than we expect. And for the most part, we saw Meister fighting this a long time. And he's gotten a lot better too. The big thing with this matchup, outside of being able to reflect away minecart, is that Steve just kills the Game & Watch so early at
Stray
all
hits.
percents.
You just need stray hits and then you're good. Here we go though, getting things started. The block's actually stopping that extension from Doofus though.
That went from, that was 35% instead of about 60. So you take that every day. The judgment has been wasted.
Guilty. There's no client. there is nobody to prosecute. Oh, my bad.
The problem was he's not wearing a robe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. You always need a robe with the gavel.
That's illegal, right? That has to be illegal.
I'm pretty sure that actually just illegal outright.
Impersonating a legal
So what you're saying
figure.
is that we could just remove all Game & Watches.
Yeah, no, Game & Watch should be in jail.
Bet.
Or, I mean, also, the bombs, terrorism.
Well, the gavel found its mark. It's still getting the job done in Doofus.
Scuba diving without a permit? Come on. Actually, he's done nothing right.
You really do have to have a permit for quite literally everything.
He
Look
just
at
walks
the fish.
around with a cattle prod.
Hey, where's your fishing license?
Okay, now we're British. We got a license for those fish here.
Right in.
All right, pull out your water. Let me see it.
Out here in the middle of the pitch. But currently, 35% is going to not matter because he baits him on over. That's one of the most enticing moments for a Game & Watch. They see you in center stage between PS2 and they want to nair you, and just got quite literally blown up for it.
We will see, though, that could happen in return. Game & Watch with those forward airs can be extra threatening, especially these percents, right? You can't put up that shield. You've seen plenty of times Doofus taking advantage of the fact that it's plus on shield. Hold up a second, down air to get the spike. That was so smart by Doofus because so many people would just go for the forward air, try to cash out, but he knew he could finish the game right there.
They waited for it, too. Waited for any attempt to try and jump or anything afterwards. Not going instantly for it, like you said, for that back air. Repositioned himself to perfectly get the spike on the down air. And that was well played too because even at 17%, it's Game & Watch versus Diamond Weapons with Rage. You are at kill windows. So you have to be so careful. And Doofus said, I do not care. I'm going to go ahead and reflect this back. I'm going to box with you. I'm going to get the job done.
Can't just get out there all willy-nilly. But again, Doofus has been a somewhat more aggressive Game & Watch as we've seen before, right? Does want to actually put the pressure on you. Right here at the ledge. I mean, Sausage is a little bit too high, right? You can actually roll through those as the Steve, but we saw earlier, he actually set that up. DJDON did roll from the ledge past that, and Doofus reacted with a turnaround grab. Yeah,
I was talking to Neighbor about it earlier too, where my recent revelation of this area is I always watch the top end of a lot of these matches, so I saw a lot of, more passive styles, a lot more defensive styles, and then I realized the rest of Dallas is just extremely aggressive.
Yeah, no, I mean, this is a region that, I mean, I like to think we're pragmatic, but we do enjoy playing the game.
You have a very similar aspect to what we do Northeast, as that's going to not kill just yet, but it's one of those, if I hit you once, yeah, you could probably die here.
Yeah, I believe in myself.
And then we're going to see that belief in that bucket soon. You pointed it out a second ago. I mean, you want to ideally hold on to it for the second stock so you can sneak out a KO. If Doofus really needs to, you can burn that, utilize it, and get out of maybe a situation like this.
Yeah, no, because now you just have to burn that up B, which of course Game & Watch can use to circumvent most bad situations. DJDON trying to catch an air dodge or something right there, but Doofus not giving it up, does take that back air, and holding on to that bucket has not helped thus far. That down smash safe though, trying to get the combo into it. We are in the funhouse right now.
Yeah, look, this I want to go over here and smack a block so bad. It's like, this foundation, nice. You want to buy this right here. Perfect execution to keep himself safe for a bit, but Doofus, excuse me, eventually does find a KO.
I have to admit, that was one of those situations where I go, oh, do people watch this game and not take it seriously? I think I kind of get it. And especially when that happens. You were at 0 and you died.
Well,
Goodbye.
Doofus is looking to potentially go up here 2-0 with the way that he's playing right now, going straight up to that 50+% and keeping DJDON stuck in the corner. DJDON trying to go for the cheese setup, we've talked about many times before, but it always ends up working for him. Smartly, Doofus is backing off.
Now we just see DJDON sit in center stage. Does get that minecart reflected. It's really not just a completely useful projectile against Game & Watch. You want to be in it to make the best use of it. Not able to even up those stocks, though. Those gold tools are just not the strongest. Diamond, however, is a different story.
They reflect that. That was brave.
Bravery, for sure.
Very brave.
That is a young man who has not learned fear.
No,
he has never heard of the IRS yet.
He has never submitted taxes. He never had
What's a W-9? Oh, I envy you.
I'm sorry, you're going to learn eventually. But currently, Doofus is, the game has gotten a lot more even. Doofus is still not playing fearful at all, which is still incredibly impressive to me in this situation because any stray hit with Diamond will potentially lead to an early KO. But you kind of need to make sure DJDON knows you are not scared at all.
You got to be a little bit scared. He just went right through the drive-through window. He said, "Where is my Whopper?"
You told me,
I'm tired of waiting.
You guys closed the door on me. You thought I wasn't going to come in? I want my food.
Give me back my card.
Well,
but DJDON says, sir, I'm going to have to ask you to leave.
Sir, this is a Wendy's. Please.
That's what they do to the burgers, too.
Fresh, never frozen, right? Well, right now. Right
but always the thinnest patty you've ever seen.
Actually, facts, though. Like, right up next, speaking of actually the proper food sponsorship, shout out to Monster Energy who's in the building.
So true. So true.
When he's getting unintentional little
I could
right
use
there.
one right now. I am both thirsty and tired.
I am starving.
Sounds like there is one product that I could use. Well, Monster, come on back here and grab me a can, bro. Can I get one, please?
Help me, please. Help me, please. We'll be getting to that point momentarily. We're currently in game number 3. Like we said before, this is the most crucial game of the best of 5 set because you want to have that counter pick advantage. And for the most part, we've been a lot of PS2 throughout the set, but Doofus is one of the few people so far who's been willing to actually change the stage. So that's going to actually be a big factor.
Well, and against Steve, you kind of want to. I don't think the Game & Watch particularly loves being a long distance away in terms of the stage length.
Yeah, that relationship is not going to work out.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's not a long distance relationship, for sure. You want to move in?
No. As you say no, he builds an entire house right next to you anyways.
I don't want to move in. I can handle that myself. Don't worry about it.
Starts eating a steak just in front of you. That was actually a really good impression. Shout out to Komodo being an actual professional voiceover actor, by the way, for anyone who didn't know.
My 4-year theater degree definitely helped me make Minecraft eating noises.
Yeah.
I appreciate the kudos nonetheless.
Yeah, man, you did a great job.
No Carl Weezer right now. We have a match in front of us.
Currently, look, there's activity happening on screen, and we're trying
He's at the ledge.
Yeah, I don't know, man. He's cooking apple pies over in the side. And, yeah, I think I see Judy in the crowd.
I demand the other esports take us seriously.
Please. Look, currently, this is a half-decent lead, not a great one, but starting to build up a little bit of damage here at 57%. 106 on the other side of it, so Game & Watch can't find a down smash, or actually just straight up an up smash might do it too.
And you got a lot of options at 115, right? But the question is, are you ever going to get the Steve in position to actually land them? You saw that first hit of the forward air does not link into the second one. It is no guarantee. And
what in the world
he's building like
making?
A Zelda puzzle for him.
What happened?
Wait, would you like to get your light of blessing? You must figure out how to use this fan to get around by A big pile of stone.
I'm gonna need you to just build an entire mech suit right now to be able to get through this wall that I have created.
I need to non sequitur at you real quick because I've seen so many people being confused by a temple that was literally like, yeah, build pinball. I was like, you couldn't figure out pinball, bro?
Look, we have a lot of faith in these other communities. It's misplaced.
Much even.
But currently,
Oh
DJDON gaining a lot of faith in his gameplay right now. That is a kill. You are so crazy. Doofus recognized somehow that was a missed space forward smash at roll distance and got right up and got the KO.
That's so scary with Game of Tech.
So, do you like chess? I like chess. Have you ever heard of what was called a checkmate? Because that's what just happened there. That is a situation that DJDON loves to go for. You miss the tech, you die. You tech it, you die. Would you like any other options? I don't think we have fries here, sir. So.
This is not a Wendy's.
This, in fact, was not the Wendy's.
We have remodeled. This is now Magnus Carlsen's chess school. Let me teach you about
it's the worst Whataburger I've ever seen. We're going to go back to the arena where hopefully we can get maybe the arena glizzy instead of whatever happened a second ago. Hey, look, it's a Pokemon stadium. You know they have a hot dog stand in there. But right now, what? Hey, look, I don't know. I'm trying to make this entertaining. But currently this set,
you are. I've never seen somebody hunt for a segue this hard since 2008 TV presenters realized that they were a thing.
Look, we're trying.
Oh my God! We try as hard as we can.
But hey, there's the sausage right there. But currently, Doofus is playing very well here in game number 4. 18% to 131. Now, what if I told you the game is basically even?
I would believe you because that is objectively true.
I'm glad that we all understand his fate.
Well,
forward air will not be enough.
I will say, DJDON does not have any iron, and those tools are stone. So he's not actually hitting that hard. 1.1 times damage boost. You forgot the wall was there, didn't you, pal?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm afraid you're punished with. You're punished? No, our punish.
We have deemed that your punish was.
Not worthy. Okay, up B of all moves is going to finally be what gets the KO off the side. Even without access to diamond, at least he was able to get to a gold bar going into the second stock.
Is very important. I mean, DJDON actually plays really well with those gold tools too. I feel like he's one of the few people that actually cashes out for them, and they are excellent because you can continue to do things like that.
When will you learn?
Don't go over there.
If you see it, chat or anybody listening, is joke aside, if you see that block there, go back to center stage.
I was about to say, remember when we saw Yonni versus MuteAce and Yonni fished for it 4 times in a row and didn't land it a single time? I will give you one guess as to why it didn't happen, and it's because MuteAce didn't go over there.
Yeah, that is congratulations, you have now won this situation. I am backing off.
Yeah, that's great. You want to mine? Cool.
Do live your best life.
Yeah, you do you. You do you. Forward air. Even with the diamond, it's not enough. And the anvil not going to connect any sort of sweet spot right there. So Doofus, he was hanging on, but that overcommit off the ledge lets DJDON get within 1 game of making top 8 at DreamHack.
All that proved to me just now is there's actually not a brain inside Game & Watch because he has been absolutely. He got hit by the forward air.
Did you see the SDI?
I actually did not.
Dude, he teleported a full Game & Watch length away. I didn't think that was possible in this game.
Well, hopefully he can continue to do that because he's currently suffering. Oh, do not go anywhere near that. Okay, he finally got the forward air. 123. Looks for that downer, but smartly DJDON recognized he had just enough space to back off.
Okay, send it back. Don't need it.
I don't need this. I already have one. I don't need this. I don't need it.
He said, yeah, I'm not working with that. I'm not working with that. Bounce that minecart back and forth all you want, but we're not playing these games.
You keep trying, but I've already told you.
I
don't want it.
Have a seat.
Well, hopefully we'll see if we can continue to keep himself in that chair right now because he's 1 stock away from potentially being knocked out of the bracket.
Maybe?
But wait, go for it.
Oh no, he says I want to win this game. Dude, you're not playing an honest character. Streets say this is not a level playing field.
Sometimes you got to be for the streets and just go for that judgment. Like you just got to do it. But then again, we're just wrong because currently DJDON has no material and he just got destroyed. No material whatsoever, kept him in the air, and we are getting that game number 5.
You're talking about judgment. He got the blue lock eyes there at the end. He said, I got an ego. I got to win this game.
I got no more food references either. We actually have to cast this last match. Well, honestly,
We are hungry.
We are starving.
I am thirsty.
I am dying. Somebody get me food. That was the duelist, by the way, who
Some
gave me.
Brawlhalla somewhere.
Yeah, I got some food for being on step, and the card I was given had not $20, it had $9, so I had to pay for it myself.
Oh,
That was hilarious. I'm gonna go get him later.
That's so sad.
It's all good. I'm going to get him later.
I heard Brawlhalla had some catering over there.
I
I heard they had some Italian.
I'm gonna go talk to my
Game
friends. at
5,
Brawlhalla.
baby!
We are in the final round, no matter what, of this match. It is game number 5, and DJDON and Doofus, honestly, all jokes aside, they have been playing phenomenally. Doofus has made a lot of adaptation to like DJDON's really early combo game, but also just DJDON has been able to kind of outplay him just because of block placement.
Well, I mean, that has been one of the big things, is that DJDON is constantly setting up these situations where he knows that you're going to think you have your opening, but then you are missing. And that is partially and mostly on you for not having the matchup knowledge. And look at that, DJDON saying, I'm going to take that bank shot and I'm going to turn this one back air into 2 back airs magic.
And 61% to 92% too. Even though Doofus gets put to KO percentages and plays like he doesn't care, which is actually incredibly impressive to me in front of Steve. But that one being that far away, that's the only reason why that minecart did not kill.
Oh, this one's going to lead to a kill, perhaps.
I
think
do not think
DJDON
he did not mean to snap that ledge.
No. I think he definitely wanted to get out there, hover with a forward air, but second lease on life here for Doofus. Does not last long, though. Call your insurance company for that second one, because we are going to a stock number 2.
What an insurance policy indeed. Oh, there's the SDI.
Look at how far he goes,
He
dude.
disappeared out of there. That might have actually helped him from not getting double fared.
That's Wizrobe DI right there. Like, the likes of which I have not seen.
Well, very impressive indeed. Hopefully you can keep that going. Dash attack, luckily that block was out of the way, which might have caused a bad situation. Instead, fair allows him to get back on. That TNT's still there, though, and he gets
No! DJDON is somehow the one that dies for it. So I sounded like Tarzan for nothing.
We are actually a Looney Tunes episode. I swear. We were talking about it before, but this game is so hilarious. Oh, he almost died. Oh my god.
We saw Diddy Kong and 2 of them in top 8 winner's side. And the best part about him is pratfalls.
Oh my god.
It just stayed there. It hung out there and then continued.
This is so ridiculous right now. I'm losing my mind. Currently, some fishes were able to beat a minecart, and that wall was able to keep him safe again.
Our commentary has devolved into naming aquatic animals, not even mammals.
What do we see on screen?
Our commentary has devolved so badly, I just called a fish a mammal.
107, that's going to be the stock loss for Doofus, and 1 stock away potentially from being knocked out of this bracket.
Yeah, and it could come at any moment, because we are looking at, I believe, Diamond Tool Steve. You can see it. It's glowing blue. He looks like there are hobbits nearby or whatever it was in that movie. What was it? What was it that the sword detected?
It's my precious.
One ring.
Honestly,
Smeagol?
Smeagol would absolutely main Steve.
I don't know what no Smeagol is.
Either way.
Oh my goodness, 144.
Either way.
No confirm available right now. We've got to get on track, because this game could be ending very, very soon. 57% on Doofus. Like, this is one little, like, back air forward smash away.
Yeah, 1 Steve to rule them all currently. One key almost to do it too. The true Keyblade Master before Sora. Almost funded that down stretch, but gets a clank instead.
Wow, and Doofus barely had any shield left. He has got to toss out all of that meat to try to give himself a little bit of time. We are building a gaming company logo. Somehow Doofus got out of there.
I actually don't know how. I would love to provide some answer, but I have none, as DJ has all the answers. DJDON will be, I believe, your final qualifier.